Hey there everybody, welcome to another series by Gideon's Tactical. We're going to be releasing a series for the next several weeks of the SE4, SE5, the Laser Strike, the SE6, and the Hungerless. So we got a lot of knives that we're going to be testing out, as well as versus and comparison videos of some other knives that can compete and are in the same ballpark as an SE knife would be. So I really encourage you, subscribe, comment as we go through here, and check out the Gideon's Tactical channel. We're going to have a playlist of all the SE knives that we have reviewed here on the channel, and we're just going to have a lot of fun testing out some really high quality blades that are made here in the USA. So enjoy the next series of the SE knives, and I hope you guys are able to make a wise choice with your purchasing decisions based off of these videos. Well, hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical, and in this particular episode we're continuing our SE series, and we're looking at the awesome, powerful SE5 that we have here before us. She's all oiled up and ready to be tested today for us. We've been using this blade now for about a year in different tests and had it around in the Gideon's Tactical compound, using it for different stuff. So today we're just going to do a field test to show you the power of this blade and what it can perform, what it can do for you. Give you a couple basic specs. We'll jump into this review. As you probably know, 1/4 inch thick. So this thing is a big honking thick piece of steel, weighs in at 16 ounces or 1 pound, has a saber grind. So in other words, it's flat up here, then it hits right here and goes into the edge. Made out of 1095 high carbon steel, Rockwell hardness 57. Comes with micarta handle scales, 5-inch actual cutting edge, bow drill, glass breaker, full tang, Kydex sheath. We're going to look at the whole kit and caboodle today. So there's the basic specs for you on the SE5. Let's go ahead and jump out there and start using this baby. A lot of people will ask me, again, could you use the SE5 as a tactical knife? And you can see here that I'm just destroying this wood. I'm just totally prying it up. And I'm really locked into place with this handle. Got a really good guard right here, so I'm not sliding down and hurting myself. I'm totally locked into place, able to quickly wield this knife and get some really good deep penetration in with this knife. And then because of how 1/4 inch thick, super strong tip as well. That tip is just awesomely thick, but fine enough that I can, and precise enough that I can use it definitely, in a tactical stabbing format, regardless if it's, defending my life, either in a reverse grip or in this, quick stab. I'm totally locked in, jimping, finger guard, and I'm locked into place down here, and I could totally use it as a tactical, defend my life type of blade if I needed to, and it penetrates and stabs just really well for that. I will say at a pound it is kind of heavy, to wield. Definitely like your K-bar utility knives or your SE4 or SE Laser Strike, even your SE6 is just going to feel quicker in your hand. That's not to say that because it's a 1/4 inch thick, you're never going to have to really worry about breaking this, whereas those other ones could snap and break under really hard, prying open a door or something. This is so thick that I don't see that really ever happening unless you're trying to pry open a tank door or something like that. But that's the only thing I'll say. It's not very fast in your hand, where some of the other SE knives might be. But other than that, you could totally use this as a tactical blade. You can see how quickly the SE5 just bites into that wood, man. Dried out pine. Woo! Look at that. Heck yeah. Nice. Alright. So at 1 pound, that saber grind, super strong. You're going to be able to clear a lot of branches and bushes and even small trees, in like 10 seconds. Very quickly, very easily with the SE5. As you can see here, I can easily break this off and go all the way through. There you go. Now the only complaint that I have with this whole SE, the only thing I have is that the handle right here just really isn't designed for the best for chopping. The BK2 has that really nice hook back here. The SE does not. If this had a lot more aggressive hook back here, like the Jungleless, the handle would feel a lot better in your hand and wouldn't want to slide out. When I chop, you're basically throwing around 1 pound when you swing, and it definitely wants to come and slide out of your hand with every swing you do. So if the handle was just designed with a bigger guard back here, you know, deeper hook, I guess, you would feel a lot more control like the BK2, and you would be able to chop even more without having to reset your hand, because it kind of goes down here like this, and you kind of got to choke up again, chop a couple times, and then it's back down. So that's the only complaint I have with the chopping on the SE5, and really the only complaint for this size of knife at all is just that handle construction is great for everything else, just not necessarily for chopping. All right, let's look at the handle. Now that we've done the stabbing, you can see that the traction's there for stabbing. We'll just talk about the handle itself. I wear large size gloves. You can see there, I got plenty of room to spare on the back end. Really locked into place, really nice. Obviously full tang. Those bolted on my Micarta handle scales is great. You got a bow drill back here. I don't really think a bow drill's ever needed. It's a cool feature to have, sure, but you know, some people might go crazy about it. I don't see a need for it, but it's awesome that they do give it to you on that side. They don't give you dual. So, you know, take it or leave it on that end of it. Really nice, you know, just the fit and finish of the handle is perfectly symmetrical. You got a real nice skull crusher slash glass breaker on the back here of this pommel with a really large lanyard hole. You can run a bunch of paracord through there. But that's a really definitely designated glass breaker, because what this is designed for, the SE5, what ESEE did to make this and why they made it originally was for helicopter pilots in South and Central America, for them to use as their pilot knife, so that if they got shot down, broke down, crash, whatever, that they could, you know, break out of there and cut through their webbing on their seat belts and, you know, the things like that, and then break through the window if need be, and then survive in the jungle until they could get picked up and rescued and have to maybe defend themselves from, you know, drug cartels and, you know, other military factions and, you know, guerrilla forces and stuff like that. So that's what the thought process behind the SE5 is, and that's why you get what you get when you purchase this knife. And that's what that glass breaker back there is definitely for either skull crushing, glass breaking open coconuts maybe, you know, or other things like that. But overall, a really good handle. It is a thick handle. It is, you know, if you have small or medium-sized hands, it is going to be probably somewhat fatiguing to your hand, just because it is a 1/4-inch piece of steel slapped on with micarta. So it's just a wide handle, you know, in its thickness. You know, it's definitely a lot wider than, say, you know, the ESEE Laser Strike, even the SE6 or the SE4. Those just have narrower handles, so it will be a little more comfortable in your hand than the SE5, just because of the thickness of the tang of the steel. So take it or leave it, but not bad for extended use when you're using an SE5 for bushcrafting or survival tasks or whatever you might need to do with it. Handle is great, going to last a very long time with those heavy-duty micarta handle scales. A lot of people will ask me, you know, in comments and questions, you know, can you do some really good fine shaving with a 1/4-inch knife like the SE5? And my answer is absolutely yes, because ESEE has just done a great job with their blade geometry, and with their 1095, their heat treatment holds an edge for a very long amount of time, which is great. But it's easy to get that really nice hair-popping fine edge back on this SE5, which is great. And with the saber grind, that helps bring the edge in quicker for geometry, and you can really see that I'm getting these really nice shavings, really thin for a fire if I needed to. Really easy to do. So carving and whittling is easy to do, even though it has that 1/4-inch thickness, you know, for the batoning and prying and just, you know, heavy-duty stuff that you might need to do. You can still get in here and do this really fine stuff with this SE5. Now, they don't give you a finger choil right here. I would have liked to see that. That would have been nice to do that, or just bring the edge all the way into the handle. I don't really understand it when certain knife companies, you know, stop the edge, but then there's this blank spot, and it's, you know, not really a choil. I could kind of get up there and use it and then go closer. I wouldn't do it unless I had really good gloves on, like what I have today. You should always be using gloves when you're out in the woods using knives. But you can see my finger's starting to ride up on that very bottom part of that edge. So it doesn't have a finger choil, but great jimping along the back spine here. I love just the profile of it being really nice and flat. So I can put my hand where I need to and then go to town and really get those carving, you know, fine shavings done if I need to get my fire started with the SE5. Alright, so one of the things with the SE5 right out the gate is its 1/4 inch thickness. Makes it a great batoner and basically almost indestructible. As long as you can span a piece of wood, you're going to be able to get through it, blast through it, regardless if it's knots or whatever. Boom. And you're going to be able to go through it with your SE5. To get to the center, particularly, you know, if it's wet out, like our laser strike video that we did, you know, all the wood was wet on the outside, and we need to get to the core on the inside. Easily do that. My other thing I'd say is if they made this in a 6-inch, it'd just be nice because then you could span more wood with your batoning. That's the only thing. You're only going to be able to span about 3.5 inch logs at max, so that you have still enough room to be able to, you know, hit the knife and go through. Boom. But you can see there, I mean, it's definitely breaking up this wood so that we can put it on the fire and it'll burn quicker. The SE5 is a great batoner with its 1/4 inch thick spine, that's for sure. All right, let's take a second and take a look at the Kydex sheath that the SE5 comes with. SE does a great job with Kydex. We've wrapped it with some paracord, so you got lashings all throughout the Kydex sheath. You got a really nice drainage hole. On the back here, you have a paddle construction, which is real great. Nice, strong piece of steel that you can click onto your belt, and it holds onto your belt really, really tight, real nice. But if you need to take it off, you can kind of play with it and get it off pretty easily, but it's got really good retention, and it's drop leg, you know, so it's kind of lower than, say, if you were to put like a BLADEHQ lock all the way down here, the knife would be riding really high and digging into your ribs up here. This one kind of rides a little bit lower, which is great, or you can unscrew that, take that off if you wanted to. This will go through MOLLE as well, so you can put that through a MOLLE webbing and then just lash it with some paracord down here at the bottom, you know, lash it to a rig very easily and securely. The other awesome thing is that this has a retention screw right here. So what you do when it's down in the bottom like this, it easily comes out. Awesome thumb ramp there to push off, then clicks back into place like that. Very easy to use. Just click it back in. But if you're running and gunning, or you just know you're not going to be using it for a while, you might be a little concerned that that might come out. You just slide your screw up a little bit. There we go. You can see there. I slid the screw up, and now I cannot... Sorry, it didn't go up all the way. There we go. Now I cannot pull this knife out of its sheath. If it's all the way up, you can't pull it out. It's locked in. Almost zero rattle. So that's just a nice little added feature for those of you in the military maybe, or you just kind of want an extra little security for your Kydex sheath with your SE5. You don't want to, you know, be losing your SE5. That little screw that moves up and down, you can get that also on the Hungerless and on the Laser Strike. All those have the exact same, you know, retention screw that slides up and down depending on how much retention you want on your Kydex sheath. Alright, since the SE5 is supposed to be used, you know, initially as a helicopter rescue, you know, get out of your seatbelt and then try and survive type of blade, I decided to go with some really heavy-duty nylon webbing today instead of just, you know, paracord or something like that. Very similar to seatbelt, very strong, durable stuff here that we're going to see how this goes through, because this is the plain edge, and that's what you're going to find most of the time. They do make a serrated model as well, but I don't think you need it, and you can just see there, that's why. I mean, this is after all the batoning, chopping, everything else. This is the last video we're actually performing today. You can see, I mean, boom, just slides right through that really heavy-duty nylon, and could easily cut yourself out of, you know, a helicopter, your car. You know, this would be a great, you know, high-quality car knife, whatever. It's going to be able to do that very easily, and I don't think you need the serrated model, because I do believe on top of that, I believe it's like another $30, $40 more to try and get the serrated model. So plain edge is the way to go, and will definitely do your man-made materials very easily. All right, everybody, so in conclusion, the SE5 is an awesome powerhouse of a knife that SE has given us here. Amazing if you are looking for a tactical blade, or you just like that 1/4 inch thick blade at a pound, you know, and you want something that's this compact. Any way you slice it, this is a lifelong, you know, heirloom quality blade that you can just thrash on. I mean, we've been using this for almost a year straight, hard using almost every time we come out here for these other blade tests that you see. This is going with us, and I got to say, I mean, it just holds an edge well, takes an edge well. The coating is holding up really well. There's nothing really that I can complain about, except again with that handle, you know, kind of sliding out with the chopping. That's only where it kind of is a little bit of a downside. Other than that, though, this is a great SE5 is a great blade to have on you in a tactical or wilderness situation. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.